PlayStation Drive is starting. While you wait, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of future goodness. If you enjoy our show, we'd love it if you gave us a 5-star review or rating on your podcast service of choice. To continue the conversation, join the Carpool Gaming Discord, where you can find a wholesome community to have a chit-chat with. For some exclusive content, you can also support us on Patreon. And finally, don't forget to check out the Carpool Gaming website for an awesome range of merch. Links to all that and more are in the show notes, but without further ado, let's get revved up for the PlayStation Drive. Whoa!
Whoa! What's up, everybody? Welcome on in. This is the PlayStation Drive, episode 155. I am one of your hosts, Ryan, and I'm joined, as always, by Fulia, Matt, and Ron. How is everyone on this lovely, lovely Chunday evening? Or Sunday. Whichever one you want to go with.
What day is it?
Chunday. Chunday. Or Chonday, whichever you'd prefer, Ron.
Monday.
I don't know. Thank you. Sunday. Sunday, yes.
Look,
Sunday
Seth
and
told
Monday.
me that that's what it's supposed to be, so that's what we're going with.
No. We don't do that here.
It's 2 days since we got to see each other, Ryan. Let's do it like that. Let's keep it simple.
I was going to say, I just saw Matt in person like 2 days ago. But Matt, I have to point out Luckless Comment, who points out, Matt, the tank top. You're wearing it.
It's summertime.
He's got his guns
Let's
out.
Go.
Matt is wearing that
Well, I
on purpose to
wouldn't say
show off
that.
the guns.
I wouldn't
Don't
say
be
that.
fooled
Yep.
by that. It's not hot.
Let's not.
Matt just showed off his guns. That's all that is.
Yep.
There's that. But
Let's
also, it's a very special tank top. It's not just because it's warm outside. It's a very special tank top. For the
poolside
audio
Bobby.
listeners, please tell
Poolside
the
Bobby.
audience what kind of one you're wearing.
I got the Carpool Gaming Summer Game Fest merch baby with the poolside Bobby made by the wonderful Fee. So it's limited time. People get it because summertime's. Well, it's already here. I wasn't gonna say it's coming. It's already here. So
I mean,
don't
it's right
forget to
here.
check it out.
Carpoolgaming.com.
Yep. As you can see,
It's
though,
right there.
Matt's gun factory is a lot more equipped.
I mean, we need to take pictures. Matt, you need to take pictures in front of like a green screen
Yes.
or something
That's
so we
right,
can get
man.
them on the website.
That's right. Get the
Pronto?
guns out.
That's not.
Yeah.
No.
Because don't get me wrong, these are some cool looking dudes that are on the website. But
They
come on,
are.
they're
They
no
are.
Matt.
But they're not Matt, though. They're not
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
are
Lockwood's
cool
got a
looking dudes.
point. Matt does show off his workouts on his socials, so if you
does.
want to see more
He does.
guns,
Yeah. Just saying, man. You might as well have the Rocky music going when he's working out. I'm just saying.
follow him on
Too much.
Instagram.
It's a bit too much. It's a bit much. It's a bit much. Anyways, it was
Oh.
very lovely.
Now who's being modest?
It was lovely to hang out with Ryan on Friday. We also got to hang out with Yon32, Riley King in the chat, and Daryl. It's always a special thing when you get to meet up with internet people. Finally, for the first time, we got to talk about our CPG origins, and I'm pretty sure Daryl told me. Yeah, there it is. It was fun. I'm pretty sure Daryl's been in CPG longer than I have. Like he's like real OG. So it was nice, and stay tuned because we are making plans for Fan Expo in August. So if you're in the GTA, let us know because we're gonna go.
Let me in. Oh,
Yeah.
I want to
Come.
be there.
Join us.
I was gonna say just start walking down when you'll get here by the time Fan Expo
Yeah.
happens.
I'll need to swim too.
Oh,
fine.
boy. I don't think koalas swim.
Well, I mean, it's cold enough there in Australia, Fulia. Wouldn't the water be like frozen a little bit? You could walk on at least some of it.
Like it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. The water down here is always cold.
Oh, okay. Oh.
really?
Especially because Melbourne is closer to the closer to Antarctica, so the Antarctic waters is where that's coming from. So it's freezing.
Gotcha.
Something new.
That's right. Throwing some science for you guys.
Yeah. So I hope that we get to do more of that in the future because, like you said, Matt, it's always really special when we get to do these meetups in person. Also, it was really special for me this time around because I know that for you, this was the first time we got to do one of these since you joined the team. So it was super cool for you to actually get to meet your own fans for the first time ever, which is always like a super interesting experience to happen in real life.
It was interesting, but I'm still gonna be modest. It just felt like friends hanging out. That's still how it felt. Let's put it
Matt
that
has
way.
always had fans. He's way before the CPG.
Well, let me put it this way: our fans are our friends. That's that kind of how we treat things here at Carpool.
That's better. That's better. Our fans are our friends. Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to give Jan32 a special shout out because he gave us these as well. These
Aw.
He did.
Super Nintendo
That's so
World
cool.
chocolate bars.
Got
This
mine
one
right
is
there.
a Yoshi, and you got your little.
So John is Willy Wonka now. They're just handing out chocolate bars. Is that what we're doing?
But these are from the Super Nintendo World theme park in California. So
Very fancy.
That's so cool.
yes, very very fancy. So huge shout out to Jan32, but also everyone else who came out as well. So there you go. And Fan Expo's coming up next in August. So we hope to see more people there. But we're going to do that in housekeeping. But we should probably transition to the rest of the housekeeping. So, of course, we have patreon.com/carpoolgaming where we have all of our exclusive content as well as a ton of amazing supporters over there. And we have the newest Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast starring Fee, which came out this week. This was her first Pants podcast this week. And then I'm on the Pants podcast this week. So if you have AMA questions for me, you can post them on the Patreon starting tomorrow. The question post will go up. I know I could have kept it spoiler free so you could see who the post was for tomorrow. But most of the audio listeners will know by the time you're listening to this. So there you go. Also, Matt mentioned it earlier. We showed him off a little bit, but this will be your final week to get Summer Game Fest merch from the Carpool Gaming website, like the tank top that Matt is wearing, or as well any of our other merch that, of course, is designed by Fee. By July 1st, they will be out of stock forever. So just make sure to get yours now if you would like some. And last but not least, audio listeners will in the future will also know about this. But we actually have a special announcement going up on our X channel tomorrow morning. I can't spoil what that is for the people that are watching tonight. But people in the future, you will know what this is, and I'm very excited to talk about it finally. So look out for that in the morning at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll have a big fancy tweet with something cool that is happening this week. So please be on the lookout for that. Well, without further ado, folks, let's grab our 8-tracks, pop them in. It's time to talk about the playlist, talk about the games we played this week, starting with Ron, who apparently has a whole list of games he played this week. So, Ron, what'd you play, man?
Finished up and got the platinum for Sea of Stars. My opinion pretty much did not change from what I said last week about it. It's a really good game. I do not find it to be a great or Game of the Year contender, but still really good. Quite disappointing. I think the devs kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit by putting the best story content toward the end of the game to get the true ending. A lot of people did not go after the true ending, so they missed out on the best stuff. Why they chose to do it that way, I do not have a clue. But like I said, overall, it's a really good game, but it's not what I was expecting out of it. The hype didn't deliver for me. But like I said, it was still worth playing. The next game, which I really, really enjoyed, was Duck Detective. Super simple game, but it didn't stop it from being a great game. It was fun as hell. The humor was there. It was just a silly game, and I really enjoyed it. Man, it was a quick one. I can't even remember. I think it was maybe like maybe 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4. I'm not sure, but that one is worth it. So if you have Steam, if you have Xbox, definitely play it. I hope it comes to PlayStation because I will play that again, and especially if they have a platinum trophy for it. So that's another one. And then This Bed We Made. That one was just okay. I got the plat for that. The story is interesting. It's the stiff animations and kind of the game mechanics are kind of clunky, so that kind of brought it down for me a little bit. But overall, it's an okay game. It's pretty much a nosy hotel maid who super nosy. I'm surprised she's able to get any of her work done. But it's pretty much a detective investigative game. Like I said, the story's pretty interesting, and it's a shame that what was surrounding it kind of dragged the experience down. But it was okay though. It wasn't bad.
What do you actually do in that game? Like, are you actually making beds or selling them? I'm actually curious.
Selling them?
I don't know.
No, Matt. She's a darn hotel maid. She does not sell beds.
Hotel maids don't sell beds. What are you doing here?
Maybe she's got to make
She
extra
does
income.
make
I don't know.
Well, she makes them if she chooses to. You can actually not make the beds and not clean up the room whatsoever. It gets you into a certain ending where you'll get fired. But you do have a choice to
Sounds pretty good.
do the maid job or not. But like I said, she's so nosy, man. I'm surprised that she actually has kept a job this long. But like I said, overall, it wasn't a bad game, but it was just okay. Very middle ground.
Nice. Sounds like a fun list. So what's on the list next?
A Space for the
Tell them, Ron.
Unbound is next.
Yes.
I know a little bit
excited
about it because I
for you.
remember Matt talking about it and a few other people. I know it's going to be a tearjerker. I know that much about it, but we'll see how it goes. I plan on probably starting that tomorrow.
Okay, nice.
So excited, Ron. So excited. Very, very special
I'll keep
game.
you posted.
It's
I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, it'll tug on the heartstrings, but like I mentioned to you in the Discord, like if you want that platinum, you really got to be careful because there's no chapter select. So if you miss something, you got to do it all over again.
Yeah,
But it's a special game, platinum or not.
guide. A spoiler-free guide of some
Yeah.
kind.
Now,
But
Sorry,
special game,
Angel,
sure.
I did not play Final Fantasy 14.
you knew I was going to ask about it. You
Well, I
knew
also saw
was
that
gonna-
she threw that out there. Sorry, I've been trying to get some of the games done. I have not forgotten it. It's still on the hard drive, but I've been trying to knock some things out, and Final Fantasy 14 is going to get in the way if I do that.
That is kind of how that works with that game.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But cool, man. That's a good list of games. But Matt, how about you? What'd you play?
Didn't get to play as many video games this week as much as I'd like to, so my plan was to mainline Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I got very distracted because I looked and I said, you know what? I got like 5 matches of Queen's Blood. Let's just go with it. So I did like steamroll my way to the final boss, and then the final boss, very minor spoiler, the final boss cheats. And it's very, very infuriating. Like really, really cheats hard. Like it doesn't like she uses cards that don't make any sense. So I did have to end up using a guide, and people said use this. So I did it. I'm officially the Blood Champion in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Congrats.
Yep. Made a little bit of progress in the main line, so I did finally get to go on my date with the lovely Queen Tifa. So far, so good. I won't spoil what happens, but there is a very heartwarming scene, unrelated to Tifa. Like it's actually about other characters. It was very heartwarming. I was not expecting that. I thought it'd just be more cheesy romance like humor. That hasn't happened yet. It was a very heartwarming scene, so I'll stick to it because I love this game. But I want to play other games too, so I do want to mainline it, take a break, and then the platinum come back later. So
I was
at
going
some
to say,
point,
you've
I'll
been
get there.
playing this game since February. It's about time that you're like, maybe
It's
I should
almost
finish
July.
this game. So,
Almost over with.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
Yeah, I need a break. But I just gotta roll those credits first, and then I'll take a break.
this reminds me of the time where I was on the Xbox Drive with Sean, and he was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it was like 6 straight months of just him talking about that game, and like because he wanted to go all the way through it, but it's like 90 hours to do everything and go for like the 1,000 gamer score. So that's kind of what this little situation's reminding me of, Matt, where this is your Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I love it.
Did he end up getting the 1,000 gamer score?
I don't think he did. I think he got pretty close though. It's a lot.
He can go back for it. It's a lot though.
Yeah. Especially there's one achievement or trophy for revealing the entire map, and there's like you can reveal the entire map from the map screen, but sometimes it'll be like the tiniest of tiny specks is remained gray because you didn't go to like one tiny area of this giant map.
Oh, like if you didn't walk there just
yeah.
because of that.
Yeah, so there's like a couple of those points on the maps where if you don't do that, then you just don't get it, the trophy, for example. And it's not obvious like
So-
which ones you're missing unless you like zoom super in. Again, the map for that game is huge.
So when Sean
Absolutely.
said he likes maps, this went too far. This is too much map.
Honestly, map is huge.
I mean, it's smaller than the Valhalla map.
Yeah, it's
though,
not
at least.
it's not Valhalla size, thank God.
No, Valhalla's map
Wow.
is like twice as big as Odyssey's
Yes.
map. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but cool, man. Well, I'm glad you're heading towards the end. And Fulia, how about you? What'd you play?
So, excuse me. I am, as you can hear, I am sick, but I am on the end of my cold. So, if I sound weird and congested, that's why. I continue on with some demos, just sort of like finalizing Steam Next Fest, which is probably finished by now. Ended up playing through the demo for Until Then, which is a visual novel. It's really good. I'm going to keep that one on my list, and I'm really looking forward to playing that one. And then I also played through a demo called Lightyear Frontier, which I got Sean to wishlist and add the demo to his list. It's essentially you made it onto a planet, but it's kind of like a cozy survival where you don't have to worry about battling anything, and but you still have to like craft things, and you have to grow crops and build all sorts of like different buildings, including a place for you to stay and things that will make the crops into oils or into turning things into parts. You still have to go out foraging for materials and all that sort of stuff. But you get this really cool mech that you get to walk around in. And you can upgrade that mech too. So the mech has a bit of a skill tree, which is really cool. So this is a very sort of like a cozy version of a survival game, or kind of like No Man's Sky without the survival aspect of, dying or anything like that. But you do still have to, you still have to eat. There's like a hunger meter and an energy meter and all that sort of stuff. So you still have to eat and sleep and all that sort of stuff. But it's actually really cool. The only problem I had was that my computer is a bit old, so the graphics aren't great. So from my end, it sort of chugged a little bit. But it seems like a really good game that you could sink a lot of time into. And the demo is actually really good size because I don't know how far, because I didn't get to finish the demo, but it gives you enough time to do certain things. There are missions that you have to also complete as well. So it's actually really, really interesting. And yeah, you look, and there's also a photo mode, which is really cool because I took a really nice photo in the game, and essentially there's just like giant planets in the sky. It was really cool. So yeah, definitely check out Lightyear Frontier if you're into that sort of stuff. I did play some like full games, so continue playing a little bit more of Star stuff. And I jumped back into Coffee Caravan yesterday and sunk a couple of hours into that. Oh man! Now my next point of thing to level up my caravan. Now I need to get the large caravan. I've got the medium one, and now I need the large one. But every time I hit the crazy chaos day, I always end up failing because I'm not giving myself the best chance to actually beat it. So I need to rearrange and strategize and
Coffee Caravan is the one that actually feels like the real job, right? You have to deal with the disgruntled customers and you can't do anything about it.
No, you get to a point.
No?
So on the big day, the last day, which is the boss battle, I suppose. There's royalty that comes. So there's a king that comes in with his entourage, and this king will drink coffee. Like they'll order coffee, straight off the bat. They'll keep ordering coffee but while you've got other customers coming around too. So it's like one of those things where this particular boss, it's like, unless you satisfy this king, you ain't gonna pass.
Can you fight him?
Well, that's the battle. You serve him coffee.
No. I mean, can you fight him?
That's the fight.
No, that's
Serving
the
him
fight.
coffee.
I mean, literally punch him in the face. I mean,
no.
That's what he
There's
deserves.
No violence. There's no violence in this game.
Thank
It's
you,
cozy.
Matt. Thank you. He deserves a punch to the face. What's going on here?
The caravan of coffee
Specifically
does not
waiting.
have violence.
Ooh.
Cozy
Deliberately
coffee
waiting
place.
to order
What is
when you're
this?
busy. Yeah.
It's a great game. I'm addicted to it, so I love playing it.
I mean, the main thing is you're having fun. That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, there's that. I jumped back into a little bit of Power Wash Simulator because I just felt like just sitting there listening to a podcast while I ended up washing a little bit of I think it was this mayor's mansion, but they didn't give me access to go inside, well, not inside the property, but just inside the gates. So I had to literally wash down the fencing and the front face of the mansion from outside of the fence, which is really weird. And the mayor's like, I'm not going to give you access, but I'll give you a voucher to buy an extra long extension for your power washer. And I'm like, you're expecting me to wash your house from the outside of your property? Wow. What a cheapskate.
Look, they just needed to add to the difficulty. That's all.
They don't want you on the
Just
property.
make that-
That's all.
Yeah.
Just make the property dirtier. You don't need to
Well,
make
that's
it
the thing.
convoluted.
This mansion was egged. It was covered in eggs, and the fencing was covered in graffiti. So that's why I had to clean it up.
With that attitude he has, he probably deserves it.
Yeah, probably.
I agree. Not expected.
Well,
As expected.
clearly the previous contractor was Pepsi Man, and Pepsi Man just ran through the walls and stuff like that, and they just couldn't have that happen again.
Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah, I played a little bit of that. And then I bought a few games on my Switch, very cheap games. But one that I really kind of enjoyed was a little sort of a find the difference game called Tiny Lands. And because I know that Tiny Lands 2 is coming soon, I decided to jump into Tiny Lands, the first one, on the Switch. And it's actually quite fun. It's very chill, very cozy. The art style is really nice. So yeah, I could just, sit around and do whatever. And yeah, it's actually good fun. Yes, Ron.
Koala, friend, I'm hearing you name all of these games, and the disrespect of Duck Detective still continues. What is going on here?
I want to stream it, okay? Leave me alone. I'm trying to find time to stream it.
The disrespect does not stop. What is going on here?
I want to play it, I really do, but I want to experiencing it. I want to have an audience to experience it with.
All right. If we get all the way into the end of July and you still have not played it, I will continue to call you out until you do.
Because now Ron can do this now that he's actually played it.
He's actually played it now, yes.
That is
Yeah,
true.
the Will actually wanted to play it as well, I guess. So
Yeah.
there you go.
I don't think the wheel has a mind of its own, Ron.
It always has. It always has. Duck Detective was a great pick. I'm glad it did pick it.
Yes, Riley, I did play Paper Mario for one session this week, but when I got sick, I couldn't stream, and I was like, there's no way I was going to put on voices when I was all congested and coughing up lungs. So I have played a bit more of Paper Mario. I have finally gotten to Chapter 3 of Paper Mario. But so beyond Chapter 3, I have no idea what's going to happen now. So I'm kind of in the dark on what's going to happen for the rest of the run of that game. So yeah, and then well, speaking of Mario and RPGs, I decided to fire up my 3DS, and I started playing this game,
Yay.
Mario and Luigi, Dream Team Bros.
Let's go.
Okay.
On the
Yes.
3DS.
Okay.
I've never played a Mario and Luigi game before, so this is my first time playing it.
Oh.
And with the hype from the Nintendo Direct of the new Mario and Luigi game coming, Mario and Luigi Brothership, I was like, you know what? I think it's time that I fire this up and see what it's all about. So yeah, I am definitely looking like I'm currently I've only played like a little bit of it, but I'm so far enjoying it. It's got the same sort of battle mechanics as like Paper Mario and Super Mario RPG. So
That's because when after Thousand Year Door, Paper Mario decided to move away from the RPG stuff. So then the Mario and Luigi series became the RPG series in its place.
yeah.
So good.
Plus,
So, yeah.
Koala loves it because there's not a lot of reading.
No, there's a lot.
No,
of
there's
reading in
still
those games.
there's still some reading.
Don't scare her away from it, Ryan. Don't scare her away from it.
Ron,
There's a moderate
be
amount.
quiet.
A moderate amount.
That's not
I
what I
am
want to
reading
hear.
it.
It's good.
That's not what I want to
fine.
hear, Koala. Tell me to shut up.
No, you haven't gotten that far yet.
Oh, I will.
Still got the rest of the night, Ron. Don't worry.
That's right, brother. I'll get it out of her.
And the last thing I'll say is, thanks to the publishers, I got a code to play Go Go Town, which is currently in early access. which is a town simulation game, which is very inspired by Animal Crossing and all that sort of. And yeah, definitely go check that out if you haven't already. Go Town is now available early access. It is made by Australians, which is really cool. So yeah, go check out Go Town, currently in early access.
Nice. Well, before we move on to me, I'm gonna highlight this chat from who says, "Hey, I'm back in Canada. Thanks, Fuliev, on recommending me some great places in Australia. Melbourne is a beautiful city."
Yay! Thank you. Amazing.
Yeah, just wanted to point that out there. I also see that you have a question. I will add that to the question section of the show later on. So we will definitely answer it later on in the show when we get to some questions. But as for me, I played some games this week, starting with an old game on the NES. Now, you might be thinking, Ryan, why are you playing old NES games? Well, it's because Riley King, of course, asked the question, how long is Ryan going to be waiting in the Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail waiting room? And the answer is not much longer, folks. Friday's the day. So I don't want to play anything too big before Friday, because Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail, as many people know, is, of course, my most anticipated game of the year, but also it's going to suck up all my free time. So I wanted to play some short stuff before that. And I've always wanted to do a no Konami code run of Contra. So Contra is a famously hard NES game, and usually in order to be able to get through the full game, you would need to use what's referred to as the Konami code in order to get through it, because Contra is a game where it's a one-hit kill. So if you get hit, you lose a life, and you only have 12 lives to play through the entire game by default. But the Konami code gives you 120 lives to beat the game. So it becomes a much easier and more approachable experience. But I wanted to challenge myself a little bit, since I had the extra time to just play something small like this. So I decided to do, for the first time ever, a no Konami code run of Contra on the NES, and I did it. I'm happy to report I was able to beat Contra without using the Konami code for the first time ever. In fact, I only had to use 2 of my 3 continues to get through the game too. So,
wow.
So
Damn.
that means I played through the entire game only getting hit 8 times, essentially. So yeah, I think I could even probably optimize it even further to maybe get hit less. But that game is very, very, very hard, and it has a lot of cheap deaths. So it's difficult as it is, but you just got to be patient. And it's a lot of trial and error and kind of learning some stuff. So I posted about that on my Twitter this week. But so proud of that moment. I was so excited to do that. I also played a bunch of Metroid Dread. I'm going to probably finish that again this week. But Metroid Dread is probably my favorite Switch game this generation, because I'm such a huge Metroid fan and I love Metroid Dread. So I'm replaying it again. I'm heading towards the end, and I should finish it before Friday. I've also played through Company of Heroes 3 has a PlayStation Plus trial. So I played through it this week, and I love real-time strategy games. So I wanted to try it out to see how it plays on console. And the controls are actually pretty good, because Company of Heroes is not an RTS that requires a ton of base building or gathering of materials or things like that. It's more about producing units and then having them capture specific points on the map. And it's based in World War II. So it's a pretty different from a lot of other RTS games. But I think it plays pretty well on PlayStation. I played some multiplayer matches. I played through some of the story. And it was a lot of fun. Like the next time this goes on sale, I'll probably end up picking it up. Because I did like the other Company of Heroes games. But I just had to check this one out. Because it came out last year, and there were a bajillion games that came out last year. So didn't have a chance to do that. And then last but not least, I played more Final Fantasy XIV, because of course I did. I had to do kind of the final things before Dawn Trail, including getting my 5th relic weapon, which is the best weapon in the game, for my fifth different job. So now I kind of have like a bunch of them going into the next expansion. Of course, those don't really give you much leveling. You'll get to maybe level up to level 94 with them, but they just look cool. So I wanted to get them on as many of the jobs as I could before the expansion came out. So and that's the most I've ever done, by the way, is 5. So I'm very happy I was able to get those. But that's all I played this week, my friends. But before we shift into the topic of the week real quick, we have a smaller secondary topic that we have to shift into, because it's time, friends, for a very special segment. It's Bubsy time. Let's go. Woo, woo, woo. It's Bubsy time. Let's go. Bubsy, of course, is returning because during the limited run games showcase this week, we got the announcement that Bubsy, the perfect collection, is coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 starting next year. This, of course, includes Bubsy 1, Bubsy 2, Bubsy 2 for the Game Boy, but also Bubsy 3 is coming back. Plus, there's a whole bunch of documentaries and all kinds of extra features. Just in case you want to learn more about Bubsy, there's going to be a voice section menu so you can listen to all the different voice clips of Bubsy, because that's a very famous thing of Bubsy. He likes to talk a lot. I am so excited because, of course, Bubsy the Bobcat was a big part of my childhood. I played the Bubsy games a lot on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis growing up. And I went back to them a few years ago during Extra Life, and I actually had a pretty good time with them. The controls are not great, but everything else is fine. Like the graphics are good. I love the music, and Bubsy is just whatever. He's a fine character. But these games are going to be great. I'm so excited that we're going to get Bubsy returning, but especially, y'all, Bubsy 3D, PlayStation 5. We don't have to wait for it to come to PlayStation Plus. It's officially coming as part of the perfect collection. And y'all, I'm, of course, the only one excited about this, but I don't care.
I am so excited for the 9 people that have been waiting for this.
Hey, there's dozens of us, Ron. Dozens! Okay?
I cannot believe this just happened.
Yeah.
Somebody wants it if it's on limited run games. Somebody wants it.
I'm going to tell you right now, probably somebody on the limited run team is a fan of this, because no one asked for this.
Excuse me, Ron. I asked for this.
Okay, the 9 people asked for this.
It's fine. It's fine. I think, you know what, Ron? I'll make you a bet. I think it sells better than the Gex collection.
That's not going to be hard to do, Ryan. No.
Well, I mean,
That's not a bet I'm going to take.
They're in very similar situations, though, because like they're both mascot platformers from the 90s.
Yeah, Gex was not good either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. See, Tony Baker also says he's been asking for it. See?
Tony, please don't do this.
Part of the 9, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, 10 people. I was mistaken.
Riley, to answer your question, when do pre-orders go live? They will go live later in the year for the physical, and then the digital comes out next year. So
don't worry, Riley. You're not going to have to fight anybody for those. There will be plenty of copies available.
Well, I mean, limited runs always makes it so they have unlimited copies until the end
Limited
period ends.
Don't worry, it'll be fine. That's not going to sell out.
Look, it's fine, Ron. It's fine. It's Bubsy time. I'm so excited so guess what, Ron? This, of course, ensures many months leading up to the Bubsy Perfect Collection, where we'll have more news drops about Bubsy, and you will have to hear me just wax poetic about Bubsy.
Okay.
Please be excited.
Yep.
Kind of hard to be excited when you don't know about the game.
Don't
you
worry.
will.
Don't worry, Koala. It's best not
I was
to know.
gonna say.
You're
You're
going to
Sometimes you
find
just don't
out.
need to ask about
As being a part of the show, Fulia, you will learn. You will learn about Bubsy the Bobcat.
Oh, God.
Anyways, let's shift into topic of the week. So, a few episodes ago, we talked about our favorite video games across PlayStation, or not video games, villains across PlayStation. And this week we wanted to do like the counter to that topic, which is our favorite protagonists in PlayStation video games. Now, we got a lot of great suggestions from the community as well. In fact, some of them are on the thumbnail, because the thumbnail for this particular video, I actually pulled your favorite protagonists and threw them on the thumbnail. So shout out to all of the members of the community for submitting your requests. But we'll go around the table. We'll talk about our favorite protagonists across PlayStation history, starting, of course, as always, with Ron. Give us one of your favorite protagonists, my friend.
It's a given. It's got to be Kratos. He's a long history PlayStation guy. He's been the flag bearer for PlayStation for many moons. Of course, his 2 newest games are the best of his series, but Kratos has always been that guy. Even when he was a murder machine, I always liked him. But yeah, it's got to be Kratos. There's no, you can't think of PlayStation and not think of him.
Yeah, that's true. Especially because he just goes so far back, all the way back to the PS2.
Yes.
But Matt has a question.
Question, friend. If Kratos is such the GOAT of PlayStation history in terms of protagonists, then why did Fulia shelve the game?
Well, here's the thing. Fulia hates kids. And because of this, This is the reason why she did that.
So she's a child hater. Is that what you're saying?
She hates children, and this is the way it is.
Wow.
I mean, I can't really blame her. It's fine. It's fine. By the way, I think Riley King's comment destroyed Ron's brain. Riley King, of course, for audio listeners, tells Ron he should go to Extra Life as Bubsy.
No, I saw that and ignored it. My brain immediately sat there and deleted that from memory.
It's still a great idea.
That's never gonna happen.
Riley's my guy, but yeah, thank you, Matt. Matt answered that.
I don't
for
think
me.
that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah,
not even
Memory
if my
30
life
second.
depended on it.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Nice.
That's not happening.
Yeah. No, Kratos is a great choice. Again, he's like in lieu of like losing Crash as the PlayStation mascot, and of course Sackboy was just they wanted him to be the mascot, but he was probably never going to be the mascot. Kratos is probably like the PlayStation mascot, so makes sense he'd fit in like your protagonist, of course. But, all right, Matt, give us one of yours.
I'm gonna have to go with the unsung hero of the one full experience, The Last of Us Part 1, Last of Us Part 2, has to be Jerry, the surgeon. I'm just kidding. It's not Jerry.
What?
I love that man. It's not Jerry.
About to say, forget
I'm
Jerry.
gonna go. Yeah, forget Jerry. No, I'm gonna go with Ellie. And as we go through the rest of the night, there's something I really like about protagonists, especially when they're flawed, and you can see a lot of. I don't want to say it's like a moral gray area, but you can see that they're human beings. Like, it's nice to have, protagonists like Superman that you idolize, but it's hard to connect with them. Whereas I feel like when you can kind of see that, they make mistakes or they actually do horrible things and have, severe consequences, it's more relatable. And I know when I think about Part 1, Ellie is kind of like a superheroic figure because she's so pure, right? Like, look at what she does to bring Joel back from his dark life, right? Like, and she's funny. She's able to, bring love and joy to Joel's life. And I love the fact that in Part 2, I know people didn't like it, but I personally loved it to see her fall from grace in that sense. I won't spoil it, but she does go through a lot of dark stuff, and they do explain it, but it's heartbreaking to watch. And I feel like that's what makes her such a great protagonist. And again, I won't spoil it. Eventually, there are some redeeming things that Ellie does go through. I know some players lost it before they even got to the end, just because of the stuff that she does. But if you do make it to the end, there are some redeeming qualities, so you can kind of see that there's still hope for Ellie. And when I think of PlayStation, I am thinking about The Last of Us, and I know Joel is a big part of that as well. And that man has many flaws as well, but there's just something about watching Ellie, again, kind of fall from grace, especially when you think about who she was in the first game and the things that she endures in the second game and the things that she does. I was going to pick another character from The Last of Us Part 2. It was very, very close. Ron's smirking already.
I thought you were going to choose him.
Yeah,
I shot.
Yeah, I did think about it, but, when I'm really thinking about the whole experience, it's really going to be like, it's Joel or Ellie, and I have to go with Ellie. Question, Ron, from the
friend, Matt, little brother. Do you believe that Jerry got what was coming to him? Do you think he got in the way and he had to get what he deserved?
Did Jerry get what he deserved? Well, I mean, how much time do we have here tonight, friends? Because it depends on perspective. Truly, I would say, from most people's perspective, including Jerry's and his family, no, he did not get what he deserved, for God's sakes. But from a few select people, I don't know if it's like he got what he deserved, but what happened to him was the means to an end. Let's put it that way.
That's
so
right.
It depends on
Don't
perspective.
get in the way, Jerry.
My perspective.
Don't get in the way. Next time, just slide to the side and let me do what I got to do.
Yeah, my perspective is, in fact, he was a get out of the way, Jerry. I'll say that. That's the truth.
Stand down, Jerry.
That's my
just step to the
perspective.
side.
Yeah, that's my perspective.
I think Jerry was actually a gosh darn hero. That's how I feel about Jerry.
Yes, I acknowledge
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
true. He is a hero.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. All right, Fulia, give us your first one.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that my first favorite protagonist so far has been CJ from Aiden Chronicle Rising. She's very peppy. She's very courageous. She loves to help people and make sure that everybody gets what they need. She's always she's just such a really positive person. When throughout the game that I've been playing, and it's just very positive and very helpful. And Kiku.
Kiku in the chat hated CG, and she's sorry about it.
Wow.
But she hated CG. CJ. Wow.
Angel's gonna be Angel. She keeps it real.
I like her.
Did I learn about this
Angel's
CJ?
great. Angel's great.
Continue.
I like
What's
CJ.
so lovable
CJ's
about her? Some people think she's not great at all.
She's just trying to fulfill her father's father's. I think it's like sort of walk in her father's footsteps, I suppose. And CJ's cool. I like CJ.
Nice. I mean, I didn't get a chance to. It's been a while since I played that game, so I don't remember much about CJ, but I remember her being a fun character. So I agree. I think that's a good pick.
It's all about the stamps.
Yes, exactly. just like we were on the Wii U when we were collecting Miiverse stamps, because that used to be a thing. But y'all probably have no idea what I'm talking about. That's okay.
I'm just letting you guys go on. I don't know what stamps you guys are
Look,
talking
the
about.
Wii U, Ron, was a console created by Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? I didn't know they
2013.
had one after the GameCube. My bad.
What a great console, the Wii U. Anyways, moving on. I'm gonna just throw it out there. There's a theme that you're gonna get from Ryan's favorite characters, and it just is one of those things that goes all the way back to my childhood. But I've always really loved strong female protagonists in any medium, whether it's films or books or video games. Like ever since I saw Ellen Ripley kick the Xenomorphs' butts in Aliens, or Sarah Connor destroy the Terminator, I've always really enjoyed strong female protagonists. So that's going to be the theme for my of course favorite protagonists. Starting off, of course, my favorite protagonist isn't a PlayStation 1, but I will give her an honorable mention. It's Samus from Metroid. Just knowing, Samus's backstory about, watching her family get murdered by Ridley and then getting marooned on this alien planet and learning with these aliens how to use like their technology for the betterment of the universe and to get revenge on the space pirates that took out her family was such a great story. And even though she's not like a talkative character, I've always loved how badass of a character she is. And I love also hearing her inner monologue, because usually she's a woman of few words talking, but you always get to see or experience what she's thinking, which is always what I've appreciated with the character, because it's very different from Link, because Link doesn't talk either, but like you never really tell what Link is thinking either. He's almost like a blank slate, where Samus you can always tell like at least what she's thinking about and what she thinks about the current situation. But as far as protagonists that are on PlayStation, I've got to go with the obvious one. It's on the thumbnail. It's Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series. In a lot of ways, she kind of reminds me of kind of Bruce Wayne and Indiana Jones just crossed together to make one character, because she loves exploring these tombs, but she's also got all these gadgets like Bruce Wayne does, because she's got her family's fortune to work with. And I love just her whole attitude, where even though she just a lot of times gets roped into saving the world from this big plot, she's out there for the fun of it, just going to explore these ancient ruins, to collect these artifacts, just for the fun of it. Like she's not out there to make a profit, because she's already got enough money anyways. She's just out there to kind of explore and see the world and kind of unravel the world's mysteries. So I've always really loved Lara Croft as a character. So shout out to Lara Croft as my first one. But Ron, give us your next one.
The badass Geralt of Rivia. Geralt is that dude. Besides the fact that he's just a badass, I mean, any task that you give this guy when he's not playing Gwent, he's going to take care of it. I knew about Geralt way before Witcher 3, but Witcher 3 is when I actually got to like experience the stories, the world that he gets involved in, and man, Geralt is just a great character. The backstory that they do for him a little bit in Witcher 3, and then of course all the great quests that he gets involved in, from the side quest to the main campaign. Geralt is just that guy. So that's my number 2 pick.
Nice. Also, I'm going to just go to this comment from Peje in the chat, who says, I would say Sora but it's not really a PlayStation protagonist, but they started on the PS2. Well, I'd say the same thing with Lara Croft, because she started as a PlayStation exclusive franchise too. And when I think about Tomb Raider or even Kingdom Hearts, I really associate with those franchises with PlayStation. So I think they fit in. And just like Geralt in a lot of ways too, I kind of think fits the bill. So should I say that pick? It's a good pick, Ron.
Geralt really does do stuff for like almost any quest. Like, I mean, he's a Witcher, so it's like you gotta get paid. But like, wasn't there a quest where like he has to get drunk in order to like lure a vampire out, and then like, hey, you gotta commit, and then do you know what I'm talking about? Or am I making this up?
I think that was an expansion. I think.
It's all jumbled.
But either way, yeah. I mean, he gets the task done, man. Whatever is required, he'll do it.
You got the task done. I'm pretty sure you had to drink till you're drunk, and like you're walking around stumbling. The vampire finally does show up, and then you can take care of business. And it's like, yeah, he does make some pretty interesting choices that you get to make as Geralt. But yeah,
he does.
Good pick. He's very likable. That's what I say. It's almost like
he is.
Not like a sad clown, but it's like when you see him getting these conundrums, it's hysterical, right? You see like, oh Jesus, what did this guy walk into?
There is more humor in the world than there should be. You would think it's a dark world, but yeah, there's humor there.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick, Ron. I like that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
My second choice is going to be Mae Borowski from Night in the Woods. Again, she is a flawed protagonist. I won't spoil in terms of what you find out about her. Let's say like halfway through the game, but she has a lot of self-deprecating humor, so it's really funny to watch. Like when you see how she stumbles when she has to speak to her ex-boyfriend again, how she handles her conversations with her parents. It's very, very clever. It's very, very funny. But the thing I like about it is that, as I mentioned before, is like she is quite flawed, and something that you notice in the game is that she has a small group of friends, and you actually have to pick between which friends you want to spend time with. And there's one friend that if you do spend time with her, you actually get to see that Mae was not the nicest or not a really good friend to her at all when she starts, accusing her friend of this and not understanding what her friend was going through. And, it really got to me just because, sometimes I feel the same way about myself. Sometimes I feel like I'm not a good friend to people. So it was nice to see her go through that and kind of have, I wouldn't say like it was like an argument, but like a cathartic experience with that friend to kind of work out their friendships, because friends will argue and things like that. But she's definitely a highlight. Most of the characters are quite standout in Night in the Woods, but Mae Borowski, like just the self-deprecating humor just kills me every single time. So if you haven't checked it out, I definitely highly recommend that game. Mae's fantastic. She's like, I know I said that she's not a good friend, but she's someone you still want to be close by. If you're willing to tolerate some of her flaws, she's quite funny.
I had a good feeling that you were going to pick somebody from Night in the Woods. I knew it was coming.
Oh yeah, it was hard to pick between. Mae would be the protagonist. I would say the rest are technically supporting characters. So because of that, it did kind of pigeonhole me into Mae, because she's not my favorite character from the game. But I was like, it really is her story and kind of like why she comes back to town and the arc she goes through. But yeah, the Night in the Woods fantastic. But she really makes fun of herself a lot. It's a bit much sometimes.
Nice. All right, Fulia, what's your next one?
My next one is going to be Alex Chen from Life is Strange: True Colors. And the reason why I picked her, because she puts everybody else before her and before her own troubles that she goes through. She's very empathetic, and like she is a little bit shy when she first meets people, but once she's able to open up, she's very talkative, but also like everything that she went through in her past during her childhood, especially like being in foster care and all that sort of stuff, she had a rough time growing up. So the fact that she's been able to grow up and become the strong person that she is, she's really cool. I really like her. I really like Alex when she managed to meet up with her brother in Haven Springs, finally. But I kind of felt for her when things went down in that game. So yeah, she's a very strong character, very empathetic, and that's kind of like the reason why I really like Alex. Yeah.
Nice
pick.
Yeah. I think Alex is a great character. I love True Colors as well. One day I want to go back and play it again because it's so good. But nice. All right, my next one. Well, first off, I want to give the shout outs, of course, to two of the best chat characters that we've got here. Starting with, of course, Rybo, Ron's running mate, who says
Running
Pepsi
mate,
Man.
please.
That's it. That's the list. And then Riley King, who points out Rachel Green from Friends. Of course, from Friends, the one with all the trivia on the PlayStation 2.
This must be stopped.
No, keep going.
I was going to say we need more of this in our life.
Yes, more.
Please don't ever do this again.
But getting back to serious, protagonists, my next one is one that really surprised me because I wasn't expecting, knowing this particular franchise, to fall in love with this character the way I did. But it's Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. She is one of the two main characters. Of course, you can either select either Cassandra or Alexios, because they're essentially a brother and sister that are separated at birth. But they're both descendants of Leonidas, of course, most famous from 300. Of course, Assassin's Creed Odyssey takes place in Greece, and it has a lot of ties in with Greek mythology, where a lot of people look at her Cassandra as she's like a half god in a lot of ways because she's got a lot of interesting abilities, and maybe she gets some more of them as the game goes on. But I love just learning about her because she does not take people's crap at all. Like, she is just no nonsense, and she'll just tell people whatever she thinks or whatever's on her mind, and she just really is a funny and interesting character. There's this one really funny quest line on her where she's invited to join the first ever Olympics, and she's going up against this other character named Testicles, and they have this rivalry going on, and it's freaking hilarious. I love just her whole character. She's actually a really funny character, which we just don't get in a lot of games, but also too Assassin's Creed Odyssey has kind of a serious story going on, but her comedic moments actually really add to relieving the tension of the story in a lot of ways, because she in a lot of ways is the comic relief in that story. But I think she's a really well-written, well-rounded character and just a really strong female protagonist. So shout out to Cassandra, who now is immortalized in the world of Magic the Gathering, because she's got a Magic the Gathering card coming out soon, and I'm going to make an entire deck around her.
Oh.
So there you go.
Cool.
So,
yeah, Cassandra deserves it. She's great.
Yeah, she's definitely my favorite character in that series, and I can't wait to maybe play Shadows when it comes out, because I'm excited to play as Naue and Yosuke, because I think they're going to be probably pretty strong characters this time around too. So There you go. But Ron, your final character.
For Falcon fans, I had to go with it. It was going to be hard, but Rain from the Trails of Cold Steel series. He's just great. I mean, he goes through a lot of crap, but man, you want to talk about somebody who's not scared to jump into something. He's a leader, modest as hell. He's a bit, when it comes to the ladies, he is oblivious to them being fans of him. But outside of that, Rain always keeps it real. If he thinks something is dark and we don't have a chance to come out of this, the dude is going to sit there and still put a good face on for the team and still get in there. He's been that man for 4 games in that series, and Rain is he's a great guy. Like I said, a lot of protagonists to choose from when it comes to games on PlayStation, but Rain is that dude.
Nice. Matt, what about you?
My final pick is going to be Brother Nier from Nier Replicant, and not Papa Nier. I know there are some fans of the OG, and let me explain why. I technically haven't played the OG, but Papa Nier, very minor spoiler, there is a romantic relationship between protagonist Nier and Kaine. Papa Nier's quite old, and Kaine, she's too young for him. Let's put it that way. So it's a bit off-putting when I can picture Papa Nier and the dialogue, because the lines would be the same. It would just be putting me off. So sticking to Brother Nier, because that's the one I experienced, and I think that's more appropriate. But again, talk about a flawed protagonist. Brother Nier really exemplifies that. I don't want to say that he explicitly exploits his friends, but he is taking advantage of their dedication to him and their admiration for him to get to his goal. And especially once you get to the multiple playthroughs, when you're kind of like, your intentions are good for you, is it good for everybody else? And the fact that, he never kind of stops, to say like, to tell his friends like, what, I'll just do this on my own, this kind of thing. It's very selfish. And
This is not
again,
sounding like a great protagonist to me.
it's his motive. Again, like, yeah, listen, you want 3 hours to
Are
talk
you
about
sure
New
he's not a
Replicant, we could
villain?
do his poetry.
There's also probably spoiler reasons that Matt can't talk about.
Yeah, I'm
There's
sure.
spoiler reasons.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I wish we could talk about it. But he has his reasons for what he's doing, and I certainly don't blame him, and in fact, I would empathize with him. But I love to see him make these very moral, great choices, and again, doing what he has to for his motivations. So. And he goes all out. Like, he's putting his heart and soul into this. There's nothing that's going to stop him. It's very admirable because he doesn't quit, even when things get hard. And like I said, even when there are kind of obvious reasons of why you should back down, Brother Nier doesn't, and you have to give him props for that. Even though there are many people who would say you're on the wrong side of this, man, but he keeps going. He keeps going. But again, Brother Nier, not Papa Nier. Sorry, OG fans, can't. I just can't. It's just weird. He's so old. Don't say that stuff to Kaine. It's just not right.
You're saying he wasn't being respectful.
Papa Nier's not being respectful. Brother Nier is. And that makes a big difference, even though it's the same lines. But like, I think it's even like the voice actor too for Papa Nier. Like, it's so like much deeper and older. It's just like overbearing. Whereas like Brother Nier at least is, more of his age, which is the same age as Kaine. Let's put it that way. I don't know. It's just off-putting. Can't do it.
Nice.
Thank you, Riley King. Hashtag so disrespectful. Papa Nier, a little bit disrespectful.
A little bit questionable.
Okay, and
going back to that game.
Yeah.
Anyways, Fulia, what's your next one? Please save us.
Okay, so my last one is going to be one from a particular game that I really enjoyed last year. And I know Ron's really eager to find out.
I already know who it
It's
is.
Bubsy,
know
isn't
who
it?
it
I
is.
knew it. It's Bubsy.
We know who it is.
No.
It ain't Bubsy.
No.
We know who it is. Tell us.
Go on. Uh-huh.
It is
Say it.
Sidolphus Telemann from Final Fantasy 16.
I knew one of her men from Final Fantasy 16 was going to be on here.
There it is. There it
I
is.
knew it.
There it is.
I would
To
have been
save
so
the
shocked.
best for last.
Yeah,
I know.
I would have been
Yeah.
so shocked.
Tell us
I
why
was
he's
this
so
close
great.
to not saying him. I was actually going to say someone else, but then I'm like, no, I think I didn't mention him.
Yeah, stay to yourself. You have 800 shots of Final Fantasy 16 with men in them.
Yeah.
You're not fooling nobody.
Wow. Jeez, Ron. You've been looking through my folders.
respectful. You were being respectful, though.
It was respectful still. So it's
Always
okay.
respectful.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah, no, Sidolphus, my goodness, that man, he has such a sarcastic sense of humor. But he's also a family man. He's got a daughter that he cares about very much. And the fact that he also, like, he does have a dominant power of Ramuh, but he doesn't use it as a weapon, but only when he needs to use it, which is really interesting. He doesn't like the idea of dominance and bearers. Like, he wants that sort of to be abolished. He's disgusted by the use of, bearers as slavery and all that sort of stuff. He used to be a commander of the Waloed army, but he's made up his own hideaway. He sort of built it in secret. He has a good judge for character. So like he's a very layered person that has a lot of good qualities about him, although he does do a lot of thieving as well. But he's kind of like the Robin Hood, where he sort of steals from the rich and feeds the poor kind of situation. So it's kind of the reason why I really like Sid from Final Fantasy 16. But I mean, apart from the fact that his deep voice really,
Whoa, calm your farm.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, this is a family show.
Put it
Calm
on.
yourself.
We used to be. Not after tonight.
I will leave it there.
My goodness.
Go ahead. Let us, please continue. Tell us about his deep voice.
Yeah, tell me more.
My goodness
Tell us about his
gracious.
other assets. Yes, go ahead. Please.
Temperature's
Go on.
rising over there in Australia. My God.
The Iodine Chronicles are also rising over there as well.
They are. They are.
Oh my gosh, Ryan, you did not.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Please save us,
But
Claw.
yes, Sid is great.
There you go.
Sid is good.
Sid is great. Sid is good. I like Sid's character too. So, yeah. There we go. Well, my last time, of course, it would not be a best protagonist list if we didn't talk about quite possibly the greatest protagonist ever. It's Bubsy time, folks. Let's go. Woo, woo, woo. Time to talk about the greatest bobcat across the land who doesn't seem to wear pants. No, I'm just
boy.
kidding. Stop.
I was gonna say.
Not,
Why
everyone
am I
was
surprised?
expecting.
Why am I surprised?
Everyone was expecting a joke answer for Ryan, and that was the best I could come up with. I even brought back the ticker for audio listeners and everything. But no, believe it or not, we actually had a joke answer for Ron in the chat, which was a Danganronpa character. But the third character I was going to talk about is a character from Danganronpa.
Oh,
but
that's
not,
great.
But not this character.
Thanks, Brittany, for conjuring this up.
No, I was going to talk about this character anyways. I already had it open on my document. Kyoko from Danganronpa 1. She is, of course, the ultimate question mark, because you don't. It's a secret. It's a spoiler as to what her ultimate ability is. Because of course, Danganronpa, all the characters are an ultimate of something. Whether you're the ultimate lucky student or the ultimate fanfic author or the ultimate baseball player, everyone has an ultimate something. But Kyoko's is a mystery. She's a very mysterious character to start with. But as you kind of learn more about her throughout the story, because she takes like a very stoic approach to the situation that the students are in, she will do anything to basically solve the case and to try and get everyone out of the situation. She kind of, in a lot of ways, like even though Makoto is kind of the main character of the story, Kyoko is kind of like the leader of the group in a lot of ways. Like she is the one that's really pushing forward with gathering all the evidence and trying to find out who is really the mastermind of the whole situation in Danganronpa, who is controlling Monokuma, who is controlling the whole situation that they're in, and how did they escape. So I just think she's a really strong and fantastic character, and I loved getting to know her both through that game, but then also through the other times she appears in the other games, as well as the Danganronpa anime that is used to kind of close out the story of the first two Danganronpa games. So I think she's a fantastic character. She's very, very well written, and she is one of my favorite video game characters ever. I think she's awesome. Despite how Ron feels about Danganronpa. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I didn't say anything bad about it.
Look, at least Brittany in the chat agrees with me. So there you go.
Brittany's my little sister, so I can't say anything bad about her taste.
Yeah.
It's fine.
See, Ron, not all Danganronpa is boring reading. That's true. That's 100% true.
I'm not going to find out. Thank you.
Anyways, so those are some of our favorite protagonists. I can't even talk tonight correctly. It is now time to turn to the carpool to see who some of y'all's favorite protagonists are. Starting with Awesome Dave 1337. Now, y'all, this may surprise you, but Awesome Dave submitted a GIF of Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. I know, I was shocked too that Awesome
no
Dave
surprise.
submitted a GIF of Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. But also, Awesome Dave also said, so I have another answer to this banger of a question. One of the greatest protags of all time would be my video game wife, Aloy, respectively, of course. She is an amazing heroine and a totally kick-ass person, I would imagine that's supposed to be.
She sure is.
Yeah, we didn't have her there, but Aloy was on like my list of probably.
She would have been on my top 10, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I'd say, top 10.
Yeah, man.
definitely
Aloy's
not
great.
top 3, but top 10 for sure. But next up, we got the captain, not captain, but the captain, who says, When I was an early teen, I spent 100 plus hours with Final Fantasy X and actually really liked Titus. I had my daughter in 2013, the year The Last of Us came out, and that game hit me with all sorts of ways, and I was 100% with Joel all the way. I would make the same choice every time, by the way. And I played God of War 2018 and Ragnarok last year when I had my son, so I'll go with Kratos as my most recent favorite character. My son is also a little redhead, so there you go. More Kratos.
Aw.
Yeah. The captain was on the roll there. Well, except for Titus, but he was on a roll after that.
Yeah. Next up, we got Skycatcher, who says, I got to go with P.I. Haruka Kagami after you recommended The Great Centennial Case. She's the kick-ass leading lady. Also, Makoto Yuki from Persona 3 Reload. He'll do anything for his friends. Lastly, Alien Crown Prince of Cornea, the most eligible bachelor. So there you go. Shout out to Skycatcher with some great choices.
Yeah, Sky, nice.
Yeah. And now we turn to the rest of the carpool for the remaining questions of the show. We're going to start with your favorite weeb, of course, from the chat, who submitted this question. Guys, what is your favorite multiplayer first/third person game? Now, I will preface this, your favorite weeb. I think we are the crew that just don't play a lot of multiplayer games online. Like, we really don't. So I think this will be a tough question for a lot of us. I think for me, as far as, my favorite multiplayer first or third person game, if I had to pick something that's not Final Fantasy 14, because that's an MMO, that's kind of like a different class of multiplayer game. My favorite one is probably Overwatch or Overwatch 2. I actually spent hundreds of hours playing Overwatch 2 and loved it. I of course love Blizzard's games, going all the way back to the original Warcraft, and they did an amazing job with Overwatch, especially back in 2016, 2017, especially. Like, that was my jam. That was before I was really like super into Final Fantasy 14, and I was playing just tons and tons of Overwatch. So much Overwatch online. Got it. So I had to throw that in there. But let's go around the table. Who has something they would like to submit to this? Because again, I know we're not really multiplayer people.
I don't do competitive multiplayer, but I play a lot of co-op multiplayer with my friends. My favorites would probably be Monster Hunter and Division 2. Those are my top ones.
Okay, nice. Matt Nerfulia?
I really like Fortnite. Played a few rounds with Yon32 and Bowsit. It's just like mindless fun. It's just more of a social game. But what was the multiplayer in Ghosts? What was that one called again? Ghost of Tsushima?
Legends, I think.
Legends is pretty good. RE5, like co-op, so much fun. It's just stupid fun, but so good.
It actually makes that game playable.
Exactly. It's very good co-op. It is very good co-op.
Nice. Fulia, anything?
So I actually have played quite a lot of different multiplayer games. I'd say Fall Guys is definitely one that's a lot of fun, and just very chaotic. And you can just have a good laugh when you play Fall Guys. So definitely that. I've like the Mario Party games. They're a lot of fun too. And what was another? It was like there was a racing one, I think.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
Forza
Yeah,
Horizon
100%.
5. Oh.
I like Mario Kart. Mario Kart, 100%. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, more specifically. But the Forza Horizon 5, I've been playing that a lot by myself. However, I like the fact that your friends list, the people who have played Forza Horizon 5, they'll actually pop up in your game as to how, with their collections and stuff like that, and to see how far, whether you're beating them or whether they're beating you and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of cool as well. So I kind of like that aspect of the multiplayer, I suppose, even if you're not playing with people.
Yeah, it's fun.
The asynchronous multiplayer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention one of my all-time favorite multiplayer games. I couldn't believe I forgot to mention this. Friday the 13th, the game. I love Friday the 13th, the series. But man, that multiplayer for Friday the 13th was so fun. Especially because y'all know I like to play the villain. So me playing Jason Voorhees going around murdering a bunch of camp counselors, you can imagine how fun that would be for me. especially because I love, again, the movies, especially because like Jason Voorhees in a lot of ways is like the best part about those movies with the kills. So shout out to Friday the 13th. I think that game's awesome. I still need to check out Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is the new game from that developer that just came out. So I do need to do that at some point because I love Killer Clowns as well. But your favorite weeb, of course, chimes in with their favorite ones, if we'll allow it, saying, I really like Fallout 76 and Helldivers 2. Those two are bangers. Y'all ever heard of those? I have actually played both of those, yeah. I'm not super into Fallout 76, but Helldivers 2 I had a lot of fun with when it came out. But I haven't really picked it up since. But there you go. Riley King, of course, assumes there's no multiplayer in Pepsi Man. That is correct. There's no multiplayer in Pepsi Man.
Nope.
It's not Pepsi Men. It's Pepsi Man. So this is how that works.
Can you imagine that as a multiplayer? That'd be hilarious.
Oh,
I don't
man,
imagine that level of hell.
You better believe if it was multiplayer, I'd be bringing 2 controllers to us for Wes to play at Xbox.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Although Crazy Bus has multiplayer, where we both get to drive Venezuelan buses at the exact same time. It'll be great.
Of course.
Those crickets sure are loud.
Look,
Oh,
don't
my
make me put this banner up again, Ron, because I will. I will, okay? Anyways, let's get into the rest of these questions. We're going to start with Rio, who says, got to shout out a couple Trails protagonists with Estelle Bright and Kevin Graham.
Yes,
Falcom really peaked with their main protags with the Sky Trilogy, in my opinion. A couple of other mentions would be Velvet Crow from Tales of Berseria. That's a very good pick, by the way. I love Velvet Crow.
Oh, God.
And don't even get me. Don't get started here. Velvet Crow is awesome. You get out of here with that.
Okay.
And also Zero from Drakengard 3, also Ron's favorite game.
Oh, yeah. Another Yako Toro.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I have to keep my proclaimed #1 Xenogears fan status by shouting out Fei Fong Wong. But now my question for y'all. What do y'all look for in your protagonists to like what in a protagonist makes you like them? Relatability, interesting backstory, the journey they go on, or how badass they are? Just to name some possible answers. So, to give y'all some time to think, from me, I just don't really have a formula. I don't know. I guess it's just a combination of things that just has to happen. And it doesn't have to be an exact combination of factors. Relatability is definitely a good thing. But I don't always like, when I want to experience a good story, I don't think something that makes a good character is necessarily like me always being able to relate to them. Because I kind of like the little bit of a fantasy aspect of getting to hear what other people are like. Because not everyone's like me. So I like the idea of learning about people that aren't like me in a lot of ways. Interesting backstory is good. The journey go on, how badass they are. I think those are just some really good factors. But ultimately, I guess just their personality in a lot of ways. Like I tend to gravitate towards protagonists that I, gravitate towards in real life, I guess, as far as, people that I like to get to know. And I think that matters more than anything. Because again, I'm not looking to see myself in a protagonist. I'm trying to see someone that I would probably interact with in real life and probably have a fun conversation with. So that's what I look for more than anything. But I'm curious what y'all think, starting with you, Fulia.
Honestly, I don't really look for anything specific to like them, as long as they've got like if they've got a good heart, and if their intentions are good as well, for whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. There's not really a lot that I sort of look for in a protagonist. I usually jump in and just go with the flow and see what comes out of the game. And when the protagonist has like good dialogue, or if there's a good backstory for them, that's usually what I sort of look for as well. But yeah, yes, Ron.
Look, Walla. So them being handsome doesn't do anything to up them up the list? No?
That's just a bonus. It's not really something I look for. If they're handsome,
okay.
That's cool. I don't mind, but it's not the main thing that I look for in a protagonist.
Right. Okay, cool.
Yeah. There you go. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, like I mentioned before, I do like protagonists that are flawed. Just, I just want some realistic humanity to them. Like, I pick Batman over Superman because he's got a lot of flaws. I love Walter White from Breaking Bad. And just like, why I love Ellie from The Last of Us. And, Riley King put in the chat, no one said Nathan Drake. Nathan Drake's the perfect man. So no, he's not my favorite protagonist. There's nothing wrong with him.
He'd be my top 10.
Yeah, maybe like top 15, but like for me personally, it's like there's no flaw in that human being. Like Jesus, perfect human being right there. So that's why he's not my top. So yeah, I want somebody that's got a bit of an edge to them. Let's put it that way.
Nice. Ron?
I don't have a formula for mine. It's just whatever game I'm playing. It's just I guess just the way it feels at the time. I mean, sometimes it could be a great performance of the character that can kind of help push that. The backstory, it's all of those components kind of combined, but it really just depends on the game for me. It just really just depends. There's just no formula whatsoever for mine.
Okay. Yeah, great performance actually goes a long way.
Yeah,
but
yes, Koala, hello.
So there's no times where you're, respectfully looking for particular characters, protagonists.
Now, if you're talking
if
about
they're good looking,
the Falcom series has several waifus that if they were the protagonist, I probably would give them extra bonus points for that. But beauty is not the only reason why they are great. It helps.
okay,
Respectfully, of course.
it helps.
It helps, respectfully.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Cwaggy, who asks, one of my favorite protagonists is Kyle Crane from Dying Light. He really comes into his own and learns more of his employer and empathizes with the remaining citizens of Haran. It helped that he's voiced by Roger Craig Smith, who really did an amazing job. My question is, how do you feel about this Days Gone movie that's supposedly in production? I haven't finished the game yet, but I thought this IP became a black sheep for Sony, but now they're greenlighting more content? I mean, Cwaggy, they also did the same thing with Twisted Metal, where they haven't made anything new for Twisted Metal since the PS3 era, and we thought that franchise was dead, and they made a whole show about it. So,
You do.
yeah. That's why I feel like it's one of those things where, like, maybe they look at it and they're not looking at, how sustainable the games are going to be in the future. Because, like, Gravity Rush is the same situation, Ron, because you and I both know. Like, they're probably never going to make a new Gravity Rush game again.
Yeah.
But, like, they're doing a live action movie of it. So, like, I think they're just picking stories that they have from games that they have that would make good movies more than anything, like, first and foremost. I think whether or not there's a future for those games or not, I think that's just the idea of it.
And shout out to Quag for telling me all this about Dying Light. Me and my friends played this, and all I remember is drop kicking zombies and beating them to death. I didn't know there was a name for the main character or a storyline. This is that all shocked me. I was like, who's that? I was like, didn't know. So thank you, Quag, for telling me of there was a protagonist name and there was actually like a storyline to it. Didn't remember.
I played that game for like 4 hours and then I never went back to it. So
And look, if it hadn't been for us playing it 4-player multiplayer co-op, I wouldn't have probably played the game. It never interested me.
I know that
play
game
with
though,
friends.
has like a diehard cult following though. Like there's a ton of people that love
Oh
it.
yeah, it's like this guy's base. So like I said, it was fun multiplayer, that's for sure.
Just like Days Gone. I know it's got its fan base.
It does.
Matt is probably the biggest Days Gone fan on the podcast though. So Matt, what do you think about this
Yeah.
question?
I think it's like what you said, Ryan. Like, there's no way. Like, we already know for a fact Sony Ben's not working on a sequel. It's not happening. The way I see it is, they're not starting from scratch in terms of making a movie, right? From they can at least get they got like, at least like a solid foundation where they can kind of see where the movie can go, and it'll get some money from people like me, like dozens of fans that will check it out. At least that's some safe money in that sense. So no, there's no chance of more Days Gone, even any shape or form. But they've got something, and maybe they'll make some money from the movies, and then if that becomes successful, maybe there'll be more sequels or TV show. Who knows? I think that's the only thing they're doing. But no, there's no games coming. It's not happening.
No. I think it's done. But real quick, we forgot to address this before. Your favorite weeb also chimes in with the second question. Last stream they were here, it was Ron's birthday, so they want to know, Ron, how your birthday was.
The birthday was great. Thanks a lot for asking, Weep.
There you go. All right, next up we got CowboyDangerD, who asks, do you guys take enjoy taking video game screenshots and showing them off? If so, what are your favorite games that you've captured the perfect moment in? Some of my favorites are Control, Horizon Forbidden West, and Hogwarts Legacy. As always, much love and love the amazing work. Well, shout out to you, Cowboy. And I know one person here captured a lot of screenshots of one particular game who Matt is pointing at.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Tell us, will you?
There's an
Tell us
entire
about
folder on your PS5 with a certain game.
Please,
So
tell us. We like
All those
I
glamour
was-
shots of all the men.
So I am assuming.
Excuse me, not all the men. Thank you very much.
Look, not the ugly ones. Not the ugly ones, guys.
Not just men.
The point is, I believe that you enjoy taking photos on your console, correct, Fulia?
I really do
does.
like taking screenshots, and not just of characters either, like landscapes as well. And when landscapes look really pretty, it just takes my breath away sometimes. So I kind of want to actually like take a screenshot of it and have it as like a wallpaper or something, or maybe like get it printed. Like it's the way that these game designers, the artists that put a lot of effort into making the games look so good, it's hard not to want to take screenshots in the game. So that's mostly the reason why I usually do take photos. Like I said with Lightyear Frontier, and it was just a demo on my PC, and I took this amazing screenshot, which I did post in the Discord, and it just had these planets. It just looked so bright and vibrant, and it just looked amazing. So it's kind of the reason why I love it when a game has photo mode in it. Granted, I'd like the photo mode to be, accessible, like easily accessible. Sometimes this, you have to go through different menus just to get there, which I don't like. Final Fantasy 16, come on.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. You have to go into the menu to get to photo mode, and I'm like, I just want to press a button and it's photo
Didn't
mode.
stop you. Didn't stop you, though.
No, it didn't stop me, no.
I mean, if you like that photo mode, Fulia, try the Final Fantasy 14 getting to photo mode in that game. It's a lot of menus.
Oh, no.
Oh, that I can't stand that. No, I'm like
No.
Fulia. I need one quick button. Don't do that. Can't stand that.
Well, they give you in that game. They give you a button combination you can press on the controller to remove the UI, so you can kind
Yeah.
of pose things where you want to. It's just to get into the actual photo mode. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. No, I love taking screenshots in games, and it's it's just more so just to say a big thank you to the people who create these games and the effort they put into them. So yeah.
Plus, it allows you to, again, like, even if you don't take photos in it, it'll allow you to go in there and look at the finer details if you want to look at specific.
Yeah,
events and
exactly,
stuff like that,
exactly.
too. Yeah. But Matt, Riley King, of course, points out an important comment here that Matt has a whole social media page for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yes.
So, of course,
he
I know
does.
that Matt also likes to take photos as well.
Yeah, I love taking photos. So like, it really aggravates me when a game doesn't have number one, if it doesn't even have a photo mode, and you're just like snapping away screenshots like horribly. But I also want like a good photo mode that actually works really well. Like Naughty Dog, especially like The Last of Us Part 1, Part 2, really accessible photo mode. Like I took tons of violent shots from that game, and even like Resident Evil 4 remake, like is a really good photo mode. Took lots of screenshots. Ron knows about it. Sent you lots of screenshots in Resident Evil 4. Rebirth is okay-ish. Sometimes it does get a bit wonky. Like when I do zoom in, the character will disappear when I don't want them to. They have to pull back. I'm not getting the right shot. So no, I do enjoy it quite a bit. And I'll even admit this. Sometimes I'm playing a game for 40 minutes. Sometimes 15 minutes is trying to get a perfect screenshot because I like getting good pictures. Yeah, it's kind of sad. I like it. It's really fun. I don't know what to say. And videos. I like taking videos too. It's fun. Just, little memories from the games.
Nice. Ron?
I don't do the photo build thing. I admire. No, just I don't have time for it. That's all
That's
it is.
okay.
Just but I admire them. I mean, especially Cowboy, man. He really does some very nice shots. And Cowboy has had a few on the PlayStation blog before, so even they are impressed with the shots he sends.
That's right.
So
I was going to say, he had multiple last month on the PlayStation.
Yeah, man. But he takes fantastic shots though. So yeah, the photo mode thing has always been cool to me, but it's just I'm not one of those people. I mean, I marvel at the landscapes or whatever is there on screen, and then I say, damn, that's really nice, and then I just keep it moving. Yeah, photo mode's just not my thing. I don't ever mess with it really.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of in the same boat, Ron. I mean, don't get me wrong. I post lots of photos on my Twitter of Final Fantasy 14, whether I have a new outfit or whether I've, I posted one the other day of getting like the 5 relic weapons. But like those are specifically saved for like key moments. I'm not going out there taking a bunch of photos and putting them up there or anything like that. And likewise, I don't really do that with any other games either. So other than the title screen, I will always, like when I'm starting a new big game, I'll take usually a photo of the title screen and then post that on X. But besides that, I don't really take a lot of photos in photo mode either. But I'm glad that they're there. I'm glad that we have those
it's
in
awesome
games
to
for
have
the
the
people who
option.
like to do that. Yeah.
Life is Strange True Colors has a really good photo mode as well, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes to us from Kiku, who says, I generally prefer cute girls in my games, but Kazuma Kiryu from the Yakuza series is by far my favorite protagonist out of everything I've ever played. However, what are some protagonists that you don't like? Was there ever one bad enough to make you drop a game? Oh, this is an interesting one, because for me, the answer is no. Because honestly, I haven't had one protagonist that's made me drop a game. Because generally, the way I look at it is, if a character or the story isn't jiving with me, I'm just going to skip the cutscenes if the game's fun, and I just want to keep playing it. So, for me, I've never really quit a game because I disliked a protagonist, but I don't like Titus from Final Fantasy X. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't understand why people like him, because I just can't stand him. But
he was hard. That was a difficult one to get through.
He's not as bad as Waka, who's also bad. But they're both in the same game together, and it just hurts me. It hurts me, Ron. It's a 2 for 1 that I don't love, because there are great things about Final Fantasy X, but the characters, especially the two male, those 2 male protagonists in particular are just like, it just hurts. It hurts me to play that game. But we'll go around the table. I don't know about this, because who wants to chime in first?
I'll take it. I'm going to apologize ahead of time. Chris, you're my guy. You know this, but I'm going to break your heart on this one. Lloyd from Tales of the Abyss. I plan on trying to go back to that at some point, but man, when I first played that game when it released, God, all the whining and the constant just complaining, Lloyd just ruined that game for me to the point I just said, forget this, and just dropped it. I could not get through it.
Wow.
He's horrible. Oh,
Dropped
yeah.
it?
Dropped it. I hated him so much. Matt, I'm telling you, man, you want to talk about a character that whines and complains? He took it to that umpteenth degree. I mean,
but that's just like part of his backstory, though. He's like a rich person who
I know.
A whole bunch of stuff happened to him. Of
I
course
have
he's
more
gonna be like a
patience now.
snob.
I have more patience now, so that's why I'm willing to go back to it. But man, he sucked.
I was gonna say he gets a lot better as the story goes on.
I've heard a lot of people sit there and say Tales of the Abyss has the best Tales story, so that's why I'm willing to go back and give it a chance. Like I said, I'm older now, I got more patience, so maybe I'll be able to deal with it. But
he's no Velvet Crow, but he gets better.
Well, yeah, no comment there. Velvet Crow is just about as whiny as Luke was.
Get out of
almost.
here, Ron.
Just saying. We don't care about your dead brother. Get over it. Get grief.
Damn.
Jesus.
I'm just saying. It was Matt. It was 20 years, and she's still up there complaining about her brother. Come on.
Would you not be?
With everything else that's going on, hey, she should be over by then. At this point, instead of that, and then she substitutes Laphicet, and it just ruins the story. Don't get me
because they're
started
like
on that
exact twins. Of course, she's going to.
Anyways, let's go.
All right, Matt or Fulia, how about you?
I'm gonna go with Billy from Resident Evil Zero. Okay, it's a decent game. It's good, but Billy is insufferable. He's just miserable all the time. Yes, there's a reason for it in his backstory, but he's not a fun character. And Ryan, I don't know if you heard the news. There's rumors of more Resident Evil TV shows and a movie, and the rumor for the movie is Resident Evil Zero starting Billy.
Excellent.
Of course it is.
We need Billy. I mean, he needs his redemption.
Yeah, if they can do a better job with making him more likable, then I'm okay with it. But please You know, if they are making a movie like that, spend some more time on Rebecca, who is a better protagonist. But let's see. But yeah, no, in Resident Evil Zero, Billy's, no thanks. I couldn't stand him.
You know, Matt, I'm just going to throw it out there because I kind of agree with you, but I also feel like if they ever remade Resident Evil Zero, I actually think they could turn his character around.
You could.
I
just much better writing. Yeah, I agree.
Like I think with much better writing, with like the current Capcom level of writing, I think they could actually do his character justice.
I agree. There's hope, but just when I think about that one set in the 2000s, like it wasn't done well, and it's just like, ugh, get away from me.
Or also, you know, him in the hit game Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles as well for the Wii, also same boat as well.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Multipass, as one might say. Fulia, you got any characters that made you want to just take the game and throw it?
No, not really. I mean, I've played games and dropped games because I didn't like the gameplay or the story, but it had nothing to do with the actual main protagonist. No, Ron. I know what you're gonna say.
You're telling lies.
No, I am not. I am not.
But that game's not dropped. It's shelved. She told us that.
Shelved. I'll go back to it.
She is not going back to that game. She's telling fibs. No. Somebody's got to be honest on this show. She's lying to you guys.
I am being honest.
She's not going back to that. She hated Atreus, and she just wants him to die.
That doesn't mean I hated Kratos. Jeez.
She loved Kratos.
Out, Ron.
She loved Kratos. She hated him. She's not going back to that game ever.
I will get
it's
back
a good
to
game.
it.
Oh, sure.
Relax.
Sure.
Anyway.
Far out.
Yeah, it is far out. It's far out. I mean, it'll make me pull up the Bubsy, but I can't forget. Now, a lot of people actually would say Bubsy, which is actually kind of funny. But, all right. Final question this week comes to us from Riley King, who, of course, shout out to Riley, who we met in person just the other day. Riley asks, if your life depended on it, which video game protagonist would you like to come save you? So, for me, I mean, my answer is easy. I'm going to pick my favorite video game protagonist because I know she could do the job. She's an expert in these kind of situations. Come on, Samus Aran. Like, who else would I want to come save me? I mean, don't get me wrong. She'll probably on her way here get struck by a bolt of lightning or something like that and lose all her abilities. And she'll have to go on this big kind of quest to, you know, earn all her powers back in order to, you know, get her suit fully upgraded to come save me. But you know what? I feel like I could hold out for that long. Whatever I need, you know, whatever, you know, thing is, you know, up against me at that time, I feel like I'd hold out until she completes her quest to get all her abilities back. So I'm going to say Samus, but let's go around the horn, starting with Ron. Ron, who's going to come save you? Is it Velvet Crow? Is it someone else?
Hell no. It's got to be either going to be Geralt or Kazuma Kiryu, man. Both of those guys are going to get the job done. I'm kind of leaning a little bit more toward Kazuma, man, because that guy will pretty much almost kill himself to save the person that he is trying to save. So, yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with him.
Nice. Matt?
I'm going to go with Kratos, just because who's going to stop him from saving me? Nobody. You can't. He's God of War. There's nobody that can get in his way. The only thing I wouldn't like is that when Kratos does rescue me, he'll probably make me feel stupid and be like, this is your fault.
Oh, he's going
idiot.
to. He's going to beat you up.
Oh, yeah. He'll toss me around. But you know what? No matter how dire the situation is, I know Kratos, he can get through it. But I'll have to take a verbal
you
and
got
emotional
guns of your
beating.
own. Why did I have to come save you in the first place? Do better.
Something like that.
Fulia, what about you?
Yes. So I would say Sid. He would definitely cut. He would definitely do anything to help others. But I feel like Clive might be the one that actually say.
Look at her. Oh, please,
My
Clive,
life
save me.
depended on it. If my life depended on it, Clive, my man, come and get me.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Get carried out. Get carried out.
Hey, man, there's that. Respectively, though, of course, though.
I'm not so sure she would want him to respectfully carry her out. I'm not sure.
No. Just come and save me and I'll be happy. That's all I need.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Of course, We also got some great recommendations in the chat, such as Riley King chiming in. Sneak King
Sneak
could
King.
get in his way. That would be good. Sneak King, of course. The Burger King King.
Who?
The Burger King King from the hit video game Sneak King on the Xbox or Xbox 360 home entertainment consoles.
Doesn't exist in Australia, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it will.
It's a good thing.
It will. Y'all will play that soon, believe me. And then, of course, Brittany chimes in saying Pepsi Man. Because, of course, Pepsi Man would be
will
great.
not save me.
Brittany,
No.
you have work in the morning. Go to sleep, please.
No.
Yes,
Pepsi Man will not
exactly.
save me. No.
The best part about Pepsi Man saving you as well is you'd get free Pepsi from him saving you.
Yep.
Like, come on. Exactly. Oh, Riley King chimes in 50 Cent from the hit game 50
It's
Cent
just getting
Blood on the
worse and
Bring
Sand.
worse.
trouble.
It's just getting worse and worse. Oh boy.
I mean, at that point, you may as well ask G Unit to come save you too. But they'd also kind of be like Kratos, where they'd be like, kind of make you feel bad for having them to come.
It's
save
not going to happen. Those would be two men bickering against themselves. They're not going to come as a unit.
Anyways, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the PlayStation Drive. But before we go, of course, we got to say thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with our ultimate producers, Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on this podcast, as well as the Xbox Drive. You can check out all of his music over at Purple Monkey Entertainment at the link tr.ee/pme/GIB. And Cwagmire, who humbly reminds you that the best babes are in fact Xenobabes. All of our links to all of our ultimate producers can always be found in the description of this podcast. Our platinum producers are Robby Bobby Miller, Tim Paullin, Smokin Joe, and Toxic. And our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, BobLoblaw, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, CowboyDangerD, CrocoKyle, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Drellesh, Emily O'Kelly, Hoppel, Jan32, Patrice Mallette, Peje P, Samuel Nessling, Shane Erickson, Tech Mike, and Tim Aulph. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. If you want to hop in the car with us, head on over there, choose the tier that's right for you. And until next time, friends, it's time for Ron Plugs Go.
Savoy Prime everywhere. PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Backlog, True Trophies, PSN Profiles, and Savoy_Prime on Twitter.
Nice. Matt, where can people find you?
You can find me as Nagachaka on Twitter, Carpool Gaming Discord, TikTok, and on Instagram, Nagachaka12247.
And Fulia?
You can find me, Foolish Fuji, on socials and on YouTube and Twitch. You can also find all those links and more over on foolishfuji.card.co.
Card.co.
Card.co. Card with two R's.
Yeah.
And you can find all those links there.
Nice. As for me, you can always find me at my official website, bubsy.com, but also on X at Ryan Turford. You also find us on X at Carpool Gaming, right here, youtube.com/Carpool Gaming. Of course, podcast services around the globe. Don't forget to check out our Twitter or X over at Carpool Gaming tomorrow morning for a very special announcement of an upcoming event. You will not want to miss it, or at least fans of this podcast will probably be excited about it. So tune in on Sunday for an announcement, maybe for Shader this week.
Please translate that for people who actually
Monday.
do it right.
Monday. It could be anything.
I'm sorry, fans. I'm sorry.
Could be any day.
Actually, it should be Chonday. You're right. It's not Chunday because today's Chunday. Tomorrow's Chonday.
No, we don't do that here. Let the other places do that stuff. That bullshit.
Anyways, for Fulia, Matt, and Ron, I'm Ryan. This has been the PlayStation Drive episode 155, and we're out. Good night, everybody.
Adios, friends.
See ya!
Thanks for checking out this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. Now, before you drive off, please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all kinds of exclusive